Welcome to No Notes.
I'm Colby.
And I'm Alex.
And welcome back to this week's episode.
Welcome back. So you did a couple things this weekend.
Did I?
At least one thing.
Just things without you, is what you mean.
Yeah.
Did you feel left out?
No, if anything, it made me feel okay to leave you at home because it's like I feel like you are like that dog that you're like, when you go out, you're like, I need to go back because I need to make sure that they're peeing and pooping outside.
I haven't pissed the floor.
Yeah. And then
Sometimes I do.
And you are the type of person to hold it in until someone else
And
comes and takes you
I
out.
have high anxiety too, so it might tear up the furniture.
Yeah.
Gnawing at the wooden legs again.
Yeah, you like to bite on furniture, like especially the legs of a couch. So I feel good that you're able to do these things without me. It's showing growth of you.
Sometimes you have to kick the baby bird out of the nest.
Yeah, soiling the nest. Isn't that such a weird term? You definitely soiled the nest.
No, if anything, that would be you.
No, sweetie. That's you.
Yeah, I got out. I went to a bar that you and I both love, Last Call.
Yeah, famously.
Craving espresso martinis, as always.
Yeah.
And, it's not the best, but it hits.
I'm just going to say, like, they have the best layout for the end of the night. Last Call, it's perfect.
It's a little packed, but the snugness feels cozy.
And I love the fireplace.
It was a little hot the other night, so we had them turn it off. But
who'd you go with?
Andre, Matt, Michael, Jake.
Oh, right.
And Ty 1.0.
Fun.
Yeah.
Love.
It was cute.
Yeah. So I went out also to True Laurel for a friend's birthday.
That's a restaurant, yes? I think I've been there once.
It
has like the parklet outside of it.
There is, yes.
Okay.
But it's more of a bar. They're like two bars, but there are tables and there are small bites. And they have this patty melt that is so good. They use like a secret sauce that's very similar to the In-N-Out sauce. They put pickles and a patty. It's so good. Like everyone has to go and take it. Like it's really, really good.
Cute.
And we Naz, for his birthday, he rented out the bar in the back. And so there was probably like maybe 10 of us in the back portion, and we had it for like 90 minutes to 2 hours. So it was fun, and they have like such great cocktails. Oh, and also I took out my first Waymo.
How did that go?
It's just like whatever. Like it's just a driverless car. I know I'm like late to the party too.
Do you have to? Can anyone sign up now? I thought it was like a subscription thing.
I think anyone can sign up, but I'm not sure. I didn't call it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cute.
Glad
you survived it.
I'm glad. Yeah. Anything fun happening this week?
It was good. I'm watching some more television, and please tell me that you have listened to Baby Reindeer.
No, what is that?
Are you kidding me?
Wait, is that the stalker?
Yes.
Is it good?
Alex.
It's really good?
So
okay, I'll check it out
good.
tonight. Do not reveal too much.
Obviously, I won't reveal anything, but it's much more than a show about stalking. That's just sort of like the beginning of it. Yeah, it's incredible.
I'll check it out.
I'm dying to watch it again already.
How many episodes is it?
I think it's 7 episodes.
Oh, it's not too long.
Yeah, but you need to watch it, and then I want you to get back to me.
I'll get back to you. So this week, there was kind of a sad story.
You looked in the mirror?
No, I would have been. That's happy. It's a happy story. No, so this is not. Want to start off by saying this is not going to be a poop joke. Okay. But you don't poop in public, right?
Define in public.
Like go to a stall, like a bathroom where anyone can come and go as you poop.
I wouldn't say it's high on my list of activities. No.
I'm saying that because at my job, right? There's like inside like every bathroom, there's like the ADA bathroom. There's the regular smaller toilet. There's a urinal, and then there's like a sink. That's like typical like a standard men's restroom.
I could go all day with a rant about workplace bathrooms, but continue.
So when you poop, if you do, which stall do you take typically?
So in a hypothetical world
if you did
where
poop.
if my body did do such a disgusting thing,
Yeah.
Luckily my workplace has entirely private bathrooms.
All of them, every single bathroom. There's no.
There are shared ones, but there's no reason to use that because they have like 10 private ones per floor.
Okay, hypothetical situation where you only had access to shared bathrooms. Which one would you use?
I would just die.
Okay. Most people would answer the ADA.
Most people would say that, or you're using that to justify the reason why you took up a space that someone else needed.
Yes. Well, I know that to be true because I always just kind of pop my head underneath.
That's actually one of the worst things about workplace bathrooms too, is because you can see people's shoes and you know who the person is.
Yeah, and I have to walk different because I have like a click-clack, like a very unique click-clack, so I have to like scuffle so that they don't hear that and they don't know that it's me.
I just like want to stand outside of the stall and point at people and like shame them.
Yeah.
You know, have the little shame bell.
Yeah. Another one. But so I use the ADA one per usual. Everyone does it. I can say for a fact, everyone does it when it's available. And when I used it for the first time in my life, someone came in, tried opening the ADA one, and was ADA.
Were they in a wheelchair?
They were with a dog, and they had to go into the small one with the dog, squeeze into it, and I took a picture.
What do you mean you took a picture?
Well, the dog you can see,
like
just
the paws.
chilling. Yeah, but it was so sad because they had to all squeeze into the smaller stall.
You're a terrible person.
Yeah, whatever.
There's definitely a spot reserved for you in hell now.
I'm sure it's still going to be a little bit better than your spot.
Okay, well, we already knew you were a terrible person, so thanks for just confirming it. Shall we move on to tops and bottoms?
Yes.
You want to flip the coin?
Yeah, so we're going, with this week we're doing tops and bottoms for the new viewers. This is a segment that we sometimes do. We flip a coin to decide which one of us will just be the top, aka a highlight of the week, and the other one will do a bottom, aka like a low light. So I'm going to flip a coin and I'll do heads I want top actually.
Okay.
I dropped it. I'll be right back.
Oh, it's looking like tails.
Yeah, this is tails. What do you want?
You do top.
Okay. So, as you know, I listen to a lot of music, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like a lot of times I listen to artists before they reach like their height, right? Like Chappell Roan, she to me was born in the pandemic. Like every time I play Pink Pony Club, I think of the first lockdown because that's when the song came out.
Is your top Chappell Roan?
No.
Because I just want you to take a quick peek at my potential top.
No, it's not. Okay. It's not.
But kind of funny that mine was going to be Chappell Roan. But continue.
So when she first came out on the scene, she had like she had no following. Like her Instagram was very accessible. It was like kind of, no one followed her and she was just kind of like wacky. But I like made the decision like, okay, like I'm going to keep an eye out for her and I'll like, look out. And eventually now she has like 250,000 followers on Instagram. She's huge. She's like booking a ton of these like headlining shows. So I was like, okay, who are artists that I know are going to blow up that have like no following? And I'm going to message them on Instagram. So I went to these two artists that I know are going to blow up eventually. And I messaged them and they both messaged me back.
Saying what?
Oh, I was like, hey, I just want to let you guys know that I like explain like why I like their music and how I'm like looking forward to seeing them in San Francisco eventually.
That is desperate fan behavior.
One of them, this is an exclusive for podcast for No Notes. Bambina is going to be here in San Francisco and tickets have not yet been released. They haven't even been announced.
And they didn't offer them to you?
No, but it's going to be like $10. It's at the Knockout. So if you're a listener of Bambina, she's going to be here in San Francisco on June 14th. And, I'm going to be there.
Oh, thankfully I'm out of town that day. Just
That's
kidding.
Pride, huh?
June 14th?
Isn't it?
No.
No, for LA.
No, weekend before.
Oh. Anyway.
So I'll be here. Okay. Well, my bottom of the week, I actually have several, but I'm only going to go through one. And that is the fucking TikTok ban.
Oh, okay.
Which I know we've talked
what
about
are
a
the
little bit.
viewers? Yeah. What is the TikTok ban?
So as a part of the foreign aid package that the House passed, which I think was largely aid for Ukraine and Israel, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan.
Yep. There is a subset of that bill that basically forces TikTok to either divest their U.S. operations, like sell it off, or close it in its entirety. And of course, that cleared the House, cleared the Senate. I think Joe Biden just signed it. So we are potentially looking at a closure of TikTok because the CEO of ByteDance, like the owner, has stated that they will just close it rather than sell it.
Yeah. I will say that I don't think it's actually going to happen because I think they have a great First Amendment argument and they have indicated that they are going to take it to the courts. And I think so.
You think, does a foreign company have First Amendment claims? Like, does a corporation even have First Amendment claims at all?
Yes. If they operate within the U.S., yes.
Okay.
So I think they have a strong First Amendment right. I also think it's going to be years before that they, like, whether they make any decision on it, it's going to be years in the making.
It's just a little crazy to me that of all the fucked up things going on in the world, the one thing that can unite Congress is agreeing that we should ban TikTok.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, I would love to see what my life would look like productivity wise.
Yeah. I'd probably be a CEO.
If I wasn't responding to your TikToks all day.
Okay, same.
And we both have the same deranged
sense of humor. We just send each other videos that we're going to see on our algorithm within 5 minutes.
All the time, I see a video and I'm like, should I send this to Alex? And I'm like, nope, he's probably already seen it.
Yeah.
And 10 minutes later, I get it from you in a message.
If I'm like past 12 hours, like I go to the comments and if it says long, like if all the comments are longer than 12 hours ago, I already know you saw it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the same faggot algorithm.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I think my productivity would increase with the TikTok ban.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to happen.
Let's see how it plays out, but still. All right. So you and I just went on another trip recently.
We did. We went to Las Vegas, the Vegas of Las.
Yes. And you and I both have talked about on this podcast that we both went to Vegas a lot as children.
Unfortunately, yeah. I think from 4th grade to senior year of high school, every summer, like the last 2 weeks in July, we would go to Las Vegas. And I know you would go for 4th of July.
Mm-hmm.
How long?
It was always week to week. So Tuesday to Tuesday.
Oh, you know what? I think it was actually mine was also a week.
Which, by the way, is a very long time to be in Vegas.
Yes.
But I went for basically every vacation that you can imagine throughout school. That's where my family would take us.
Like the 3-day weekends?
Yeah, like those would become a 7-day trip to Vegas. All the major ones, at least.
You would fly, I'm assuming?
Oh, yeah, because we were in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time in Vegas. I probably went at least 5-6 times a year.
I'm curious.
Up until high school.
I'm curious as to what you did because obviously we weren't 21, so a lot of the activities weren't.
Yeah. Vegas has tried to reinvent itself a number of times, and I think that around the late 90s up into the early 2000s, Vegas was very much positioning itself as like a family-oriented destination, and they were building a lot of the Circus. Well, Circus is quite old, but they had like expanded the theme park there, and then they had built out like the Excalibur and Luxor and New York with theme park rides, building all these kind of things to attract, I think, a more family type group. And so we talked about that you and I both loved the arcade, so I would do that.
New York. Yeah.
My days basically look like pool during the day, arcade in the night, and maybe some kind of show on like 1 or 2 of the evenings there.
Yeah, mine would be exactly the same, except at night I would go to the strip club.
Yes, yeah.
As a
you were the performer.
I would do the intermission, sing. Usually, I dreamed a dream at the strip club. and then someone would buzz my hair.
Okay, that's an interesting act to repeat every night.
Yeah. Well, and my hair grew quick. And it was once a year that I would do it. So
yeah. Okay, well, that's interesting. How did you enjoy Vegas as a kid?
not at all. No. Once you did Las Vegas as a kid for like a summer, like there's nothing you can really do because it's not like every year Vegas was reinventing it. Like it's the same rides. It's the same arcade. Still a pool. It was always fucking hot.
I thought that time was kind of exciting because it felt like at least every year there was a new property opening. And I loved all the free shows and attractions that they had. Like in one of the previous episodes, we talked about the Forum Shops and at Caesar's Palace.
Yeah.
And they had that fountain show.
The animatronic one?
Yes, next to the Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah, that one
slaps.
Yeah.
Slaps.
But like when the fire portion it would get so hot in there.
Yes.
I will say we should have checked that out this time around because I doubt that they upgraded those.
No, they haven't. It's exactly the same.
Oh, they're probably like completely melted.
Nope, they look exactly the same. And it brings back all the feelings. The Cheesecake Factory is still there. So you can still go get the like Bang Bang Shrimp or whatever and an Oreo cheesecake and watch that performance.
Do they still have the Nike?
They still have the Nike.
At that. Okay. It's funny because there's also that I think used to be a car.
2 doors down was a luxury car museum. They had like the Ferraris and stuff.
How did we not check this out?
That's gone.
Oh, it's just gone?
Yeah, the luxury car thing I think is just a maybe normal art gallery now.
Oh, boring.
But I really loved that. So Vegas, it always brings back like the 90s feels for me. But I was going to ask you, did you not make friends on vacation in Vegas?
No.
No?
No. Oh. So I would go with my brothers.
Is it because you smelled?
No. If anything, people told me I smelled good.
Okay.
They went up to me and said, hey, you smell good.
I think they did that to make you feel good. But
no, I never made any friends. Well, that's so weird. I don't make friends. It's really hard. I think people are intimidated with me because of how beautiful I am.
Mm-hmm, surely.
So I think I never made any friends. I was also there with my older brothers, and occasionally we would go with my parents' friends. But
like in the pool during the day, you didn't make friends with other kids. You didn't play pool games with them.
I don't think any kid ever went up to me.
So I think that was like sort of the unifying thing for me on these vacations to Vegas is that there were so many kids like myself that were there sort of on their own with their parents and they couldn't do anything else. And so they were just in the pool on their own and they seemed very eager to make friends with other kids. And we played Marco Polo and drown the shit out of each other. And, wow. You missed out.
Yeah.
What's it like being so unpopular?
I don't even remember seeing kids like playing with each other.
But where did you stay? You stayed at Bellagio?
We stayed at the Bellagio.
Maybe that was part of the problem. I mean,
it's not very like family
it may be
oriented.
More so now, but I do remember, especially in like the late 90s, early 2000s period, that was seen as one of the more luxury destinations on the Strip.
Yeah.
And maybe less families were going there.
Which one did you stay at?
My parents always stayed at Excalibur because they gambled there so much that we got basically everything comped.
Yeah. My parents loved gambling. That's like, at least my mom.
So this is why they went.
Yeah. So they loved gambling. They loved the shows. But one thing that we as a family loved was the buffet culture in Las Vegas.
Just about to tease you about that.
The buffet culture.
You have such a big bag.
Yeah.
Like if not for all the time you spent in the gym, you'd be huge.
Yeah. Yeah. So the buffet at, I think it's MGM Grand. Legendary.
Mm-hmm. What is it that you loved about the buffets?
So my parents they love, this is probably going to sound very disgusting, but they love seafood.
Oh, the snow crab legs?
Yeah. Yes.
Endless snow crab legs.
Yes. That's like a very rare thing to have at a buffet.
Overcooked snow crab legs, but still.
Yeah.
You have to eat like 1,000 of them just to eat a normal like amount of crab.
But I mean, they just had like a lot more unique things at this buffet, and you know, it's like all you can eat.
All the little mini desserts.
Yeah, they had carrot cake.
You love a carrot cake.
I love a good carrot cake and MGM Grand. put their entire badussi
into the carrot cake. Wow.
I could taste it.
I do remember in that period that buffets were like one of the main attractions of those properties. And it would literally be like a $15 or $20 all you can eat kind of deal. And
as a family, like that's
as a family,
great.
yes. And the quality actually was really good because it was very competitive in that period. Now it's all garbage and it's like super expensive. I'm just not a buffet person either, but yeah, interesting.
Yeah. Another reason why I hated Las Vegas is we would drive from Merced to Las Vegas, which is 8 hours.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah. So we'd drive.
Did you go through Death Valley?
Yeah.
That is a terrible drive.
So boring. There's nothing for miles.
Well, and even today, there's very little cell phone service in a lot of areas of Death Valley. So if you break down, girl, you're there until...
Hills have eyes.
Yes.
Hills have eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So boring. And the reason why we didn't... So there was actually an airplane flight that we could have taken from Fresno, which is an hour from where I lived. But the year we did it, the plane dropped for about 15 seconds, and my parents hate flying already. So they would rather drive 8 hours than take a 45-minute airplane ride because of how like this like 15-second drop for them was like terrifying.
Did you see shows when you were a kid? It sounds like maybe you did.
We did, but I don't really remember them. I do remember the Madame Tussauds Museum for some reason.
Tussauds, yeah. Is that Venetian or Palazzo? It's one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have I done that? I might have a long time ago.
Yeah, there's no way you can miss that one. I think that's like one of the prime things that as a child you could do.
Yeah, I have seen a good number of the shows on the Strip. Never the ones I wanted to when I was a kid. Like I really wanted to see Thunder from Down Under.
Oh,
the male Australian stripper show at Excalibur.
Goodness, the amount of happiness I would get from looking at that poster.
Well, I always say to Excalibur, so they would have like a 20-foot mural of that on one of the floors. And I would often just be like a moth to a flame.
Yeah.
Staring at it.
You still do that to this day.
Still to this day. There's still bite marks.
Yeah.
But I had to go see the Blue Man Group. Weirdest show I think I've ever seen.
Oh, I had no idea that was an option. See, my parents just didn't really care. They'd be like, here's $200. Go, have fun. I would like walk up and down the Strip.
Yeah.
And find shit to do.
Kind of funny that your parents did that. Similarly, my parents would just give me money to go play in the arcade all night.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I mean, by myself for 6-7 hours. And I wouldn't just stay in one casino. I would roam because the Excalibur had a moving walkway bridge connection to the Luxor.
Yeah.
So I would go to that one, and then they had added on a path from within the Luxor that connected
New York.
Well, to Mandalay Bay.
Okay.
And so, I mean, I'd be walking like 2 miles on my own at night for hours. Yeah. And we never got abducted, so that's good.
Yeah. When you're a kid, do you remember there would be people on the street handing out the stripper cards?
Yes. They used to just drop them in your... If you ever were carrying like a shopping bag or anything,
they would just
drop it in.
Yeah. I just remember the noise they'd make. They'd like hit the two cards.
Yes.
And there'd just be like a line of like 100 people just like,
yep.
It's so sad because I wonder what they like.
My brother and I at one point started trading them like Pokemon cards. Like I have 2 Rebeccas. I'll trade for your Stephanie. Mm-hmm. Did you ever call any of the numbers on it?
No.
I think we did once as like a joke.
As a kid, though, I do remember one year I took my friend, my buddy, and we dialed people within the hotel.
Oh my gosh.
We prank called. And I remember one time we picked, I think we called our next door, and the person that opened up was like, let me guess, you guys are the kids next door.
Wow.
And then we hung up.
I feel like I feel like if your mom found out, she would have beat you
with a brush. Yes.
Or what is it? A chancla?
A chancla? Yeah. A good one. That or the matamoscas.
The worst thing I think I ever did is I was staying there. This is in high school with a buddy, and we were walking by one of the rooms, and he ran in while like the cleaning lady had the door propped open with her cart, but she wasn't actively in there. And he went and raided their whole bar and took all the little mini vodka bottles.
She probably got fired.
And those people probably had like a $400 bill from all the little bottles of liquor he took. But it sounds like you didn't have a terrible time in Vegas as a kid, despite what you've stated. But we just went to Vegas for Elle's birthday party. And what were your favorite moments of it?
So I will say that overall it was like way better than I had anticipated, but I think my favorite parts were probably the dinners. I think getting to experience Carbone was a highlight. They've been talked about so much. I was looking forward to this, and it was really good food.
Yeah, I think it's one of the strongest points of Vegas for me is that they've got these really top tier restaurants from Miami, New York, LA, etc. that are just really accessible without like not having to get into a car. But Carbone, I want to hate it because they make it so difficult to get a reservation, especially for a large party there. And to some degree, it's overhyped. It's all over social media. You know,
they did oversell you.
They oversell you, which is, you know, a complaint I do have of Vegas in general. Just it's all capitalism.
Yeah.
But the food is really good. And the espresso martini was phenomenal.
Food was amazing.
I'm a sucker for the spicy rigatoni. I know it's easy to make. I know it's overpriced. I don't care. It's delicious.
And their bread, focaccia.
You had some caviar too.
I love me a good caviar with creme fraiche. And shout out to Calvin that got us the reservation. He also loves some caviar, and so we got to split that. So that was fantastic. Drinks were great. I will say that for the pricing, I think I would do Olive Garden.
Well,
and they didn't treat me like a family.
Yeah, as I'll say, at Carbone, you're not family.
Yeah, if anything, you're scum.
Oh my gosh. All right, what else about Vegas?
I love that you're able to dress up.
Yeah. So, I guess what was your like general experience like in Vegas this time? It's been a long time since you've been. What's it? 13 years?
Yeah, it had been 13 years. I showed you pictures.
Yeah, of little baby time. Alex.
18. I think that was like 17.
You were so cute. What happened?
Was I cute? I had some serious acne.
Yeah, I was gonna say you looked a little pimply, but
yeah, I was very pimply.
It was precious looking back on it. I'm sure it wasn't that.
A lot of growth, and then I had
steroids,
1 or 2 all around. Where I just back in the good old days where you didn't really have to choose a hairstyle. It was just a buzz cut for everyone.
So what did you think of the Cosmopolitan?
Yeah, so the last time I was there 13 years ago, I think maybe the Cosmo, I know it was getting built. I don't remember how completed it was. I think Aria might have been completed.
Yeah, Aria was first.
Yeah, I think that one was completed. Cosmo wasn't. So it was my first time inside Cosmo, and it was a really nice hotel. I will say that every other hotel it looks a lot grungier now.
Most of them are pretty dated.
Yeah, they look very dated. But I will say Cosmo looked up. It was very clean. It was super nice. They had a lot of amazing shops. I mean, like they have like Hermes and every other designer there. So it felt like, a really good hotel. They had all like the best restaurants.
Yeah, the rooms are pretty sweet too. Like I love the balconies.
Yeah. So does every room have a balcony at the Cosmo?
There may be one type that doesn't, but for the most part, every room there has a balcony.
The rooms were amazing. So Elle got a free room, which I took. Thank you guys. And it was a fantastic space. It was a lot. I mean, maybe because of the membership, but the room was a lot bigger than I was anticipating. It had like a living space. It had the bed. It had a huge bathroom, and then of course the balcony.
Yeah,
like it was really, really cool. And then your guys' room, holy shit, really nice.
Yeah, it's a nice property.
Yeah, very nice property. I mean, and then what's the third tower? Like it's not Aria, it's not Cosmo. Fedara, is that one nice?
I've stayed there closer to around the time that it first opened, and it was another one of those that was meant to be residences, and then they converted it, and it feels like a residence still. I've not been back into it since maybe 2013 or so.
Oh, okay. So it's been a while.
Even then, it felt like it was run through.
Oh, really?
So I don't really know what it's like now. It's kind of like the weird like bastard stepchild of the city center, because it's of where it's located and its proximity to Aria. Again, because it was meant to be like a residence.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird. They don't have their own casino or anything like that. So I wanted to talk about the nightlife.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the garden first.
The lack of garden. So there are two primary, at least that we're aware of.
There's a lot more than two.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's lot of gay bars in Vegas, like at least 6 or 7.
Really?
Yeah, at least.
Oh my God. No idea.
Yep.
But would you say the biggest ones are Piranha and Garden?
The biggest one is definitely Piranha.
Yeah.
And the Garden, I don't know if it's still really popular, but a few years ago when it opened, it was always packed. They had a really hot staff, crew of boys that worked there. The bartenders were hot.
Straight or gay? Probably straight.
So I can't confirm this, but I think the owner also owns a CrossFit studio, and I think he was recruiting those people to work at the Garden.
I see.
So maybe a mixture.
How did you find this out?
I was like going through the investigatory weeds of like scoping out who the boys were on their Instagram.
Of course you were.
Like years ago. And the commonality was that they all worked at this like same gym. Anyway.
Was the owner gay?
I think he's gay.
Oh.
Yeah. So maybe the boys were mixed. Who knows? But all very friendly. All would wear little skimpy outfits.
You don't say at a gay bar?
At a gay bar, yeah. But they would get some hot talent. So obviously RuPaul has her own show on the Vegas Strip.
Is it at the Flamingo?
It's at the Flamingo.
And what is it called?
RuPaul's Drag Race Live.
Oh.
I think.
Boring. Really rolls off the tongue,
really imagine it. I mean, Ru's not going to miss a chance to insert her name into it. So, but I think because of that, you get a lot of the bigger Drag Race queens coming because they'll do like a temporary residency at that show, but then they come out to the bars to perform. And the Garden, same as Piranha, would host these queens. And so you would just be at this little small bar with, you know, it might be busy for Vegas standards, but it's not like a New York City bar.
Right.
And you get a pretty intimate experience with a big Drag Race queen. So that was kind of cool. And it's like, it's a cute little bar. It's not very divey. It's a little more like
sit down,
a little more trendy.
Okay.
A little more Instagrammable kind of moment. So it was nice for them to have another cute pop-in bar to go to. But Alex and I tried to go there on this trip.
On a Saturday at probably midnight. And
she was locked up.
Yeah. She was, closed, lights out, no one home.
And no information online about that either. It showed that they were open.
Yeah. I have no idea what happened, but like it's like one less space for us.
Yeah.
And it kind of ruined the night. Like I think after that, we're just like, let's not go out tonight. We just
called it a night.
Yeah. It was not the closest place. Like it's off the strip. Like
so Vegas has a neighborhood called the Fruit Loop.
Oh, really?
And that's where Piranha and some of the other bars are located. And this one is in the Arts District, which is near like downtown Las Vegas, the old original strip, and is not super close to the Fruit Loop. So it's if you get down there and it's closed, it's kind of a hike to go back to where like the actual gay bars are. So I think it was really popular with locals, which was cool.
Yeah.
But I think she's gone, girl.
Yeah, sad. So we really only got to experience one bar, which was Piranha.
Yes. Before we went into it, what were you kind of thinking Piranha would be like? Because you had never been before.
Never been, and it's not. I wasn't like I had been already told that it's kind of like a beau.
Yeah,
they had told me that it's kind of which is like a lot of people, mixed crowd, straight, gay, a lot of straight, like a good amount of straight women, but they said it was like pretty big. So when we got there, that was all checked off. Like it was not only gay people, but in like a good mixed crowd. But the location was a lot bigger than I thought. So they had 3 separate dance floors. All like one was playing, more Latin music. One was playing Latin Leche. Another one was like more dancey remixes, like a DJ. And then they had a front room which had pop music, and then it would also serve as the space for drag queens.
Mm-hmm.
And the drag show really, really was like the highlight of the night. So they had, sorry, go for it.
No, I was just going to say that the headliner was Cameron Michaels.
Yeah. Who out of the 3 drag queens was probably the worst.
Yes. And she actually even commented that on her own show. I don't know if you heard her, but she said, I'm not going to split my pussy like these other girls.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was just like very top tier quality. The other girls were shaking their ass off. It was really good upbeat music. I think all of them had like Beyonce tracks, but they were all like high beat. Like, you know, when you go to a show,
they were entertainers.
You want to be entertained, right? A lot of some of these girls, especially in San Francisco, will put on the Lana song, and I'm not looking for a Lana song when I see a drag show. I want to see, you know, upbeat. I want to see dancing. I want to see the splits. Like that's what I'm here for.
Yeah, I think my opinion of, or at least my expectations for drag have been lowered since being here in San Francisco, just because, to your point, like the girls barely serve. Not all of them.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that a lot of the shows we go to, it's like mid, it's fine. It's not energizing. It's not upbeat. And for a drag brunch or daytime drag, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. But it does irk me a little bit on a Friday or Saturday night, like a peak night, when they stop and clear out a dance floor to have drag queens perform and they're low energy.
Yeah.
I hate that.
What are your opinions on go-go dancers at a gay club? Do you think that they need to be there?
In the right venue.
Yeah.
Having them on the counter of a sports bar is kind of weird, especially when it's brighter.
Yeah.
But in like a like sexy, darker dance club kind of environment, I think it makes sense.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if they gave them some training though, like dance training.
Yeah, or like you can see which ones were hired because of their looks and which ones were hired because they could dance.
Yeah. So as Alex is alluding to, Piranha has Go-Go Boys.
Yeah.
And they've got a bunch of pretty muscly Go-Go Boys.
And they had a lot.
Yeah. And they're all in Speedo thongs.
Uh-huh.
Which is an interesting choice to work in.
Yeah. What did you think that most of those guys were straight?
I think most of them are straight.
I think, maybe only a couple were gay. Do you think that Go-Go Boys can be straight at a gay place?
Can Go-Go Boys be straight at a gay place? Yes, absolutely. People will do a lot of things for a paycheck.
I think it's kind of sad.
No.
It's very similar to me, like when I saw a stripper perform. Like I just saw their entire life. And I'm like, there's no way they wanted to end up at this. Like they had dreams of doing something else, and this is where they're at. Same thing with the straight guys. Like I just think about like, what are they telling their parents that they're doing? Like, are they telling them the truth? I
feel like this is a projection of you and your goals for yourself, where some of these people might be just very happy doing what they're doing. Some of them might feel empowered and sexy and being in their little Speedo thong and shaking those BBLs for 4-1s.
That actually brings out a good point. Some of these girls definitely, I don't know what Las Vegas is doing to these girls. I don't know if they're making them like the pancake mix straight into the ass cheek, but these girls had giant butts.
And I think they got a Groupon for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if anything, I was jealous that I wasn't included on
it. But yeah, these girls had cake.
Yeah.
Huge.
I was there for it.
Yeah. What did they stuff their thongs with?
So that I'm not sure about, because some of these men had
clearly stuffed.
Their crotch was long,
but it looked like organic matter in there, you know?
Yeah, but like comically big.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Like there's no way that they stuffed them. I just don't know what.
Or they're putting like a sleeve on and then putting it.
Oh, yeah.
It's something along those lines.
Or Play-Doh. Just make it into the shape. Put it in there. But it's got to be uncomfortable. Like I would be freaking out like to see if like anything fell out. the entire time.
Well,
Just be, like,
and that
looking
was
down.
the other part that I'm like, maybe they're not, because with those little G-strings and Speedo thongs they had on, it would be very easy for things to slip out.
Or
and
maybe it's sewed into the fabric.
Maybe.
You should be a thong designer.
We need to investigate this a little further.
Yeah. We'll do our research and we'll report back to No
Okay.
Notes.
Yeah, so I will say Vegas has a very small town feel to its queer nightlife.
Yeah, it felt like a lot of people there were local.
Yeah.
But
Which is why I think they have like the Latin dance room.
Yeah. So I would say that the majority were Latinos.
Yep.
Here at Piranha, and they had an entire dance floor dedicated to Latin mixes.
It's a pretty diverse scene.
Very diverse.
And I always love that you never really know who you're going to see.
Yeah. Because it's so close to LA.
Yeah.
Like
You have a lot
everyone.
of spillover.
Yeah. So everyone that we met that night, LA, was from LA. And with that brings, celebrities.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a unique thing about gay bars in general. In the straight world, like you'll never see, Cameron Diaz at a bar just like chilling, hanging out, right? Or it's like very rare. They're going to be a very like exclusive bars, but in the gay world, for some reason, gay celebrities just like wander among the people. Maybe because they are just gay celebrities, but we saw Tan Fran at Piranha.
Yeah. Is it Tim Fran or Tim France?
Tan France.
One of the two.
I think his Instagram handle is Tan Fran.
Oh, okay. Well, that's why I guess he's not famous enough.
Yeah. But he was from Queer Eye. He's like, he's known in the straight world. Like in the straight world, people would come up to him.
Yeah, like the girlies would go crazy for him.
Yeah, and he was he was there. He went down to the restroom like the rest of us.
And everyone
humans.
just seemed unfazed.
Unfazed.
What about the Bachelorettes?
We've talked about this before, and I think it's been kind of talked to death, but, gay people need their spaces, especially in a city like Las Vegas that is so catered towards straight people. This spot that's off the strip already, like people, gay or straight women are going to for their bachelorettes, and they're taking up a sizable, portion of the space. You have like what 30% of the population there was bachelorettes.
I don't know if it was that high, but there was definitely some. And yeah, we've talked about this, and any of the destinations that are sort of trending in the States these days, the bachelorettes are swarming and taking them over.
Yeah.
It is frustrating, like you said, that Piranha is like not even on the strip, and it's experiencing this. And years ago, there was a gay bar basically on the strip, Crave, RIP. But I can't imagine if we had one now, it would just be like all bachelorettes, I think.
Yeah, I think that like we can talk about like a broader aspect. Like the reason why I didn't want to go to Las Vegas is because it reminded me of such a straight world, right? You had people on the street giving you stripper cards. You had basically a lot of small town people from these red states coming in as bachelor and bachelorette parties, like really reinforcing this like straight hetero image. And it's just so many of them. Like it's not just a couple, it's so much that when we are gay and we go to these spaces and we travel as a group, like we really stick out. And it just feels so exhausting. Like I would rather spend my money going to a place like P-Town where all the accommodations are geared to gay people. Everyone is gay, so you don't stick out, especially when you're just trying to dress up to go to dinner.
It is interesting. I see gays every time I'm in Vegas, and like a few years ago before the pandemic, I would see a lot of them. But Vegas has never really felt like a queer destination for me. It's like little pockets of them that you see here and there. And
you were talking about how that's interesting that it's not a big population because of how much gay entertainment they have, right? So we've talked about it. Celine Dion, Adele.
Yeah, they get like some of the hottest, at least within the gay world, residencies.
Right. Katy Perry,
Kylie
Britney
Minogue,
Spears,
Lady Gaga.
Right. They had all these people, and gays will go to the show, but it's not like the population there isn't gay.
I think they have a sizable gay population because they have UNLV there. but it's a lot of the people don't live near the Strip.
Yeah.
That's like a tourist destination only.
And they have a pride in, it's not like everyone, it's not like LA Pride or New York Pride where it's like people go to it, but it's not like a huge destination.
But I think one thing that you were maybe hinting at that's a little bit more clear to me now is that it doesn't really feel like the safest space to be outwardly queer. Vegas attracts a lot of
Republicans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember during the...
Well, your parents went.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I went maybe 2 years ago, and I remember seeing this guy, like a grown-ass man, like one of these like muscly guys that wears the like weird patriotic outfits, you know what I'm talking about? Like he had like the American flag hat, and it's like all the Under Armour stuff, protect this house kind of bullshit. And he was wearing this shirt that said trans vaccinated on it. And on the back, it says, I'm not vaccinated, but I identify as someone who is. Ugh. And I was like, a grown ass man. Yeah. No, I mean, like, not only does he have that opinion, but he's actually bought a piece of clothing that says that and is wearing that out as proudly. If you should wear that anywhere. But he thinks that's like a cute shirt to wear out for the day. And so Vegas, super strange that it's, a fairly modern place. Yeah. It can be an expensive destination to go to. It's not inexpensive, I would say.
The other rooms are expensive.
And
dinners are
they
expensive.
have a lot of top entertainment, top dining, a lot of shopping, and yet it gets some people that are not the most open or progressive. Yeah. And so it can feel like if you're just walking around that you're kind of in an environment that's like not meant for you or safe for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's the type of population why I don't like Miami, right? It's like it can, like a lot of this like new money people are there. They're not the most, I don't know, progressive people. Yeah. And so it feels like you should be kind of looking over your back, especially if you're like them, especially if you're dressed differently. Like it doesn't feel safe at all.
I mean, it's a city that has kind of marketed itself based off like straight male sex standards, right?
Strip clubs,
it's also call girls to your room, right? Kind of thing. So it kind of makes sense that it's got a very like almost homophobic kind of energy to it.
It is so weird that like brothel houses are legal in Nevada.
I feel like they should be everywhere.
But I mean, it's just right. It's like continuing this. Why is this place such a hetero haven? Like one of the reasons is because you can, legally purchase a prostitute, a sex worker. Mm-hmm. And
that's the one thing Vegas is progressive in. Whatever they can sell you, they will.
Yeah, but they don't do it because it's progressive. It's it's the married man, totally. Republican going there to. Mess around before.
And do you remember, this is so random, this is now making me recall, there was a TV show not that long ago about the male call boys. Did you ever see that?
No.
Oh, I have to dig it up. You have to see this.
No. Yeah. It's such a crazy, it's like such a weird experience that you can do that.
Yeah. So that being said, like, what did you think about Piranha overall and the nightlife?
No, because I think a lot of our expectations maybe were that it wasn't going to be P-Town or, LA, New York, that it was going to be a lame time, but it actually ended up being like really fun. Like it was just like a very cool local aspect to it, feeling to it. And so there was a lot of people there. Everyone's in a good mood. It's kind of infectious. Like, yeah, you're going to have a great time. Is it going to be like the most elaborate setup? Like, no, it's just like a very solid gay club. And like Piranha does such a good job with the music and keeping the crowds moving. Like it's great. The performances.
Yeah. And I have to say, I think I have a better time at Piranha sometimes than I do at our bars here.
Oh, definitely.
It's livelier. The drag queens are really serving it. Yeah.
Music's fantastic. The crowd, great. Yeah. You're not going to get stomped on.
Yeah. The other party or regular occurring gay entertainment that they have in Vegas is the Luxor does a day pool party on Sundays during the warmer months. I have been to it before. It's called Temptations. I've only done it once, and it was really busy. And it's an interesting world to be in because it's only at one of Luxor's pools, which is also next to the other one. So there's not an enforced barrier. There's just kind of like a natural line that's drawn in the sand between all these straight families and their kids, and then men in Speedos and bears all in the pool.
You know, one thing that I did notice, like I know you said there was previously a gay bar on the Strip, but
Crave.
To get to these gay areas, like you have to leave the Strip, which is like
except for Temptations, but
Temptations is still
that's the Luxor pool party.
But even that, Luxor,
it's on the far end of a Strip.
Exactly.
So depending on where you're staying,
it's the farthest. Like it's just so interesting that Las Vegas. Again, there are gay people that go to these, but like all the gay events are so difficult to get in. Like to me, that signals that the city doesn't really care about the gay population there. Like they're there to make money, and they know that, you know, gays can drive away that family aspect to it.
Mm-hmm.
So they banish them to these far corners of Las Vegas, and that's not a good feeling to have.
Yeah. Vegas gets some top tier DJs and stuff too that you would think would attract the gays.
Yeah.
And I have seen the gays at some of those, but and probably more so pre-pandemic when they could be pickier. But Vegas clubs have also had a long culture of rejecting groups of men.
Yeah.
Like you used to have like a ratio of like 2 to 3 women per every man kind of thing. And women would get in free and men would pay whatever the bouncers feel like charging them.
My brother, he's straight. When he would go to Las Vegas, he said that he would just go up to the front and would have like hundreds of dollars in his hand and would shake the bouncer to get in. Otherwise, he'd have to wait hours with the men. You know, like there's a line separate from everyone else for guys to wait.
Yeah.
To get
so if
in.
you're like a group of gay men trying to get in, like the bar is probably not super interested in letting you go. So yeah, I agree. The system there and the city is sort of built to serve the bachelor and bachelorette community.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I still think, you know, if you take the effort to go out to like the neighborhood, like the Fruit Loop, it's a fun time.
Yeah. Overall, I would say like Las Vegas, a lot better than I thought.
Yeah. A lot of cute dinners,
great music,
lively night out,
entertainment.
We got to see some famous people.
Yeah. And yeah, the entertainment, amazing. Very, a lot of good people watching.
And a lot of cute bubble butts.
A lot.
Even if they were fake.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Well, I'll see you guys next week.
All right. See you next week. Hey, it's Colby and Alex here. Thank you for listening to No Notes.
If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to follow us wherever you get your podcasts and share with your friends.
You can also follow us on Instagram at No Notes Pod, one word, where you'll find updates on new episodes and see more into our lives and the stories that we share with you on this show.
Your support means the world to us. Until next time, keep it real and keep it queer.